Migrant crime rate has reached an all-time high, and the business owners of New York are affected by this. Shoplifting, retail theft, robbery, you name it. How much longer will New Yorkers be able to endure?
It happens every day. It happens every day.
Now look at this mess, caused by a group of thieves targeting ATM machines by breaking windows to get inside businesses. They've tried it 3 times, hitting one business twice in River North.
A few months ago, a group of criminals made a huge mess by shattering windows to get access to the ATM in someone's store. They attempted it 3 times, twice striking the same store in River North. They were driving an SUV. The store is owned by Raya Patel. Sharing what happened, she said she received a security alert about the burglary and saw the would-be burglars in real time. She stated that she turned on the cameras from her home and observed a black Jeep attempting to crash their car into her store.
Turn on the cameras from home and all we can see is a black Jeep trying to ram their car in to get inside the store.
Once the suspects noticed that they couldn't grab the ATM, they quickly fled, along with the other suspects who were waiting in other vehicles. Rhea expressed her sadness at the city's current state, disclosing that the structural damage to her store would cost more than $20,000 and that it was not the first time it had been damaged. She revealed her store had been looted 2 weeks previously.
We've got looted twice during the lootings. We got robbed 2 weeks ago. Same thing, tried to break through the windows. We got that repaired, and then this morning, this is what happened.
They still attempted to break through the windows, though she had that repaired.
Work together, and our goal is to secure the border.
Yeah, so
they're turning themselves in, or the getaways, so we really don't know how many getaways have been. I don't like, it's been done in the past. You need to detain, see if they qualify, and if not, quickly deport them. That's
my next guest here is one of 14 Democrats to denounce Biden's border policies in a House vote. And he also just launched the Democrats for Border Security Task Force, which he co-chairs. Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I want to ask you, what do you hope to accomplish with the Democrats for Border Security Task Force?
We need to make sure that both Democrats and Republicans work together to secure the border. It's very simple. I mean, with all due respect to the Republicans, they don't have all the answers. I think working with Democrats, all of us can work together, and our goal is to secure the border.
An already difficult task growing dangerous. The job of securing the southern border turned deadly Friday when this helicopter crashed in Starr County, Texas. 2 National Guard soldiers and a Border Patrol agent were killed. The issue of border security has become front and center as the presidential race marches on. Voters now see immigration as a top issue, with Republicans highlighting the dangers, with the majority of those who have arrived allowed to remain in the country, even if they commit crimes.
Laken Riley would be alive today if Joe Biden had not willfully and maliciously eviscerated the borders of the United States.
Former President Trump reportedly...
That's right, Mark. Today's pause actually coming in surprise. It's supposed to be one of the state's toughest immigration laws in U.S. history. That pause right now is extending till March 18th. Now, this extension does give the courts more time to deliberate on what opponents are saying would be one of the toughest immigration laws enacted since the Arizona 2012 law that was partially shut down by Supreme Court. Now, if SB 4 is enacted, it will enable law enforcement officials in the state of Texas to inquire about individuals' immigration status during routine stops and make arrests. Texas Border Sheriffs telling News Nation now, despite this delay, they are ready to enforce this new law.
See myself doing anything different than I already do. And what I mean by that is once I apprehend people I suspect of being here in the state illegally, I get in touch with Border Patrol and they come out. and they take possession of them.
It's going to benefit, especially those that are along the border. A lot of these issues that are surfacing are on those that really don't have the concept as to what we go through on a daily basis down here. We're not trying to target anything, but it is illegal to come between the port of entries for sure.
Tonight, an investigation is underway into what caused the crash of this National Guard helicopter, killing one Border Patrol agent and 2 soldiers on board. A 3rd soldier seriously injured.
It was unbelievable.
Wesley Vanderpool says he was about 1,000 feet away when the chopper crashed in his onion patch.
And all of a sudden, it started swirling or circling, spinning like a top.
It just dropped like a rock.
It dropped like a rock.
The UH-72 Lakota helicopter went down during aviation operations near Rio Grande City, the Department of Defense says, part of a federal border mission.
It could be involved in a surveillance. Many of the chases that we have along the border are extremely dangerous. When you have that aerial support, it provides a level of safety.
Head of the National Guard, Daniel Hokanson, calling the incident a tragic loss beyond words and saying all of these people represent selfless service and the best of America. President Biden today offering his deepest condolences to their families and loved ones.
Yeah, so the resolution says President Biden purposely violated United States immigration law, has operated an open border agenda. Why do you think the president then has allowed this to happen?
Meeting with the mother of 22-year-old Laken Riley ahead of this campaign speech in Georgia. The suspect in her murder, an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela, Jose Ibarra, is an incident that has sparked a political firestorm.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal.
Democrats accusing their opponents of politicizing a tragedy.
It's unfortunate that in this moment of grief, there are those who are trying to score cheap political points.
Meanwhile, solutions to face the problem head-on are in the works, with a renewed push by Democrats and some Republicans to pass a bipartisan bill. It would, among other things, add far more Border Patrol agents and add 4,300 asylum officers. Today, there are only 1,000.
Just days ago, various organizations gathered for a significant rally outside the state capitol in Austin, urging Governor Abbott to stop SB 4 along Operation Lone Star, which is a multi-agency effort that has led to over 500,000 illegal immigrant apprehensions. Now, this Supreme Court extension is going to until March 18th. Sources telling me don't be surprised if that extension goes longer. What is also interesting is these border sheriffs say they are ready to enact this law now, but do admit that there could be some operational challenges when it comes to apprehending these migrants and then taking them to local jails as of right now, Mark.
Killed in the military helicopter crash along Texas's southern border. National Guard Chief Warrant Officers Casey Frankowski and John Gracia, as well as Border Patrol Agent Chris Luna, who we do not yet have a picture of, were all killed when their UH-72 Lakota aircraft
was written by, without due respect, by Republicans. So they certainly put certain language there. Do I agree with the high numbers of people coming in, the people that are turning themselves in, or the getaways? So we really don't know how many getaways have been. I don't like the high numbers. Now, I would say from December of last year to now, the numbers have been cut down. And if you look at the history, how migrants go to the border, first it was South Texas, then it was Eagle Pass, it was El Paso, then it was Arizona, California. The cartels are very agile, so they'll move over to wherever they think there's less resistance.
Came down while on a federal border support mission on Friday. We're told a fourth person, another National Guard member, was also badly hurt. All 3 of the soldiers served in the New York Army National Guard. The cause of the crash remains under investigation.
I'm curious, Congressman, if nothing changes, would you vote again for President Biden in the next presidential election?
Yes, I will. Look, he wanted to support the Senate. He worked on the Senate bipartisan border deal, and our Republicans don't want to even consider it. So he's trying. So, yes, I would support him. Doesn't mean that I agree with them 100%. Nobody agrees with, if it's a Republican, they don't agree with Trump 100%. But yes, I'll support President Biden. But again, when it comes to border security, the Senate deal was something that we need to take a look at.
Yeah, but the House passed one, 3 years ago, and we've seen these surges coming, wave after wave after wave, and now in an election year, the president is deciding to push this. Isn't that a little suspect?
We do have gaps in our asylum law that need to be fixed. So no matter who is president, that can actually be resolved, and we can have a faster resolution to be able to secure the nation.
Others continue to fight for more border wall to be built. A federal judge just blocked an effort by President Biden to divert border wall funds to other border-related purposes, since it was money agreed to and passed by Congress. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Well, the HR, I think it was HR 2, what the House put together. They didn't even talk to any of us. Look, I'm at the border. I don't just come in, take photos at the border for a couple hours and then take off. I live here. I talk to Border Patrol. I talk to ICE. I talk to CBP, the folks that are at bridges. And again, I want to make sure that if we do something together, let's work. But the other thing is, look, on the appropriations, if you look at the last 2 years of appropriations, Homeland appropriations, we added $2.4 billion to CBP, except for 2 Republicans are still in the House. 2 Republicans are still in the House. Every single Republican voted to add more money for Border Patrol, add new Border Patrol agents, add technology. They voted against $2.4 billion the last 2 elections. So the last 2 appropriations. So again, look, you just can't say it's the Democrats or it's the Republicans. We need to start playing politics in Congress and do what we need to do and secure the border.
So, Congressman, in the last 30 seconds, the administration wants to process these migrants faster with more of the money that you've been talking about. No mention of slowing the flow crossing the border illegally. What's your position on where the money should go? Faster processing or stopping the hundreds of thousands crossing illegally each month?
Friday's deadly crash comes on the heels of his State of the Union address, where the partisan fight over border policy was front and center.
I'm ready to fix it. Send me the border bill now.
Tonight, the lives lost, an important reminder of the stakes.
Priscilla, what more do we know about those who lost their lives?
Jose, the Department of Defense has yet to release the names of those killed, wanting first to inform their families. That process usually takes about 24 hours. Jose?
Look, we need to put money with judges, asylum officers. We need to detain people. We need to see if they qualify for asylum. And if they don't, then you need to deport them. Just like, it's been done in the past. You need to detain, see if they qualify, and if not, quickly deport them. That's the consequences that we need at the borders.
Migrant moped gang dragging a woman down a New York City street. She crashes into a bike stand right there.
Police department has released body camera footage of the attack on 2 officers by a group of migrants.
People to go do his dirty work to grab phones and stuff. So he's the big target. This caused a lot of problems in New York City.
The video shows a man in a yellow jacket who is believed to be Henry Brito wrestling with the officers.
And hopefully we'll grab him. We get some headway on this.
First of all, thanks a lot, guys. Listen, we saw what happened.
When the suspect, 45-year-old Jose Garcia, walked up behind her and hit her in the back of the head with the bottle.
NYC imposes curfew. Following violent occurrences that the city believes to be the result of migrant shelter occupants that garnered national attention in recent weeks, New York City is extending its curfew to include more shelters. Following the implementation of curfews at 4 other places, Mayor Eric Adams' administration will begin enforcing a curfew at 20 migrant shelters on Monday, a spokesperson announced on Sunday. According to the mayor's office, the curfew will affect roughly 3,600 migrants, the bulk of whom are single men. Nearly 1,000 migrants are housed in the largest emergency center in Long Island City, Queens. 2 recent attacks on the New York Police Department involved all male migrants. Near the first incident, which was caught on camera near Times Square, 2 officers are allegedly attacked severely by a gang of migrants.
Migrant moped gang dragging a woman down a New York City street. She crashes into a bike stand right there.
Police department has released body camera footage of the attack on 2 officers by a group of migrants.
Snatches and robberies where phones are taken, putting out essentially a hit for...
When the suspect, 45-year-old Jose Garcia, walked up behind her and hit her in the back of the head with the bottle.
Another incident occurred in Times Square where a 15-year-old immigrant from Venezuela allegedly shot a tourist after robbing a store and then opened fire on the pursuing police officers. The attacks took place when the NYPD announced that over 5,000 police officers had been injured by suspects, some of whom were immigrants, in the first 9 months of 2023. When asked for evidence to support his claims that migrant crime has washed over the city, Police Commissioner Edward Cabin refused to give any, citing a lack of information from city and police officials. The Associated Press claims that the city does not monitor crime trends based on the nationality of suspects. The majority of crime categories have actually decreased since the spike in migrant arrivals started 18 months ago, according to the AP. In November of 2023, New York City Police reported in a news release that overall crime had decreased by 4.1% from the previous year. The total number of offenses in the city has dropped by 866 so far this year. However, retailers in other parts of the country, like Chicago, Denver, and Washington, D.C., are noting an increase in retail theft and shoplifting incidents. Authorities fear that because there aren't enough resources available, migrants can turn to crime as a means of subsistence. Adams said News Nation that most asylum seekers are not represented by the offenses. I want to eliminate any situation in which individuals are engaging in violent crimes and engaging in criminal activity. They shouldn't be allowed to remain in our city. They ought not to remain in our city. When you're living off the generosity of New Yorkers and tax dollars, they shouldn't be here, Adams remarked.
NYPD officer assaulted in the Bronx yesterday afternoon, hit in the head with a bottle in the Kingsbridge section.
People to go do his dirty work to grab phones and stuff. So he's the big target. It's caused a lot of problems in New York City.
The video shows a man in a yellow jacket who is believed to be Henry Brito wrestling with the officers.
Every bone in her body wasn't broken. They were trying to steal her purse, and inside it her phone.
Governor Kathy Hochul of New York stated that she doesn't think the recent crimes involving immigrants are singular occurrences. The city's police unions, however, claimed that the immigration crisis makes the issue more difficult and that the number of assaults on police officers has escalated to the point of an epidemic. A curfew was first imposed on 4 shelters by city officials last month in response to concerns from the community. The 24 migrant shelters that are currently under limitation make up a small portion of the more than 200 shelters that the city runs to accommodate the approximately 66,000 recently arrived asylum seekers. NYC migrant moped gang. According to law enforcement sources who spoke with the Post, the migratory moped gangs who are terrorizing New York are a part of an illegal network of hoods that traffic in stolen goods from the 5 boroughs of Florida and send the money they make to South America. Franco Alexander Peraza, the leader of the migrant ring, claimed, "It's much bigger than me." Navas reportedly told the NYPD after being apprehended in connection with other local thefts, "I never thought you'd catch me in a million years." Navas, 30, is reported to have said to investigators, "Every 3 weeks I've been traveling to Miami. It's also far larger than I am." According to the sources, the Venezuelan immigrant is a member of a group that has been connected to robberies in Yonkers, New Jersey, Florida, and New York City.